Happy Friday the 13th, December 13th, and welcome to MicroStrategy Today, the only daily show that is bringing you MicroStrategy's news, updates, intel 7 days a week. And we've got some great things to talk about today. BlackRock's new allocation percentage recommendation, Barclays' new targets, pretty juicy, I will say. MicroStrategy in gaming. I mean, what can't MicroStrategy do in the future with the Bitcoin treasury company that it is building right now? And so much more good stuff, clips, tweets, and more. Now, remember, this is not financial advice, so please consult a financial advisor before making any decisions. And let's jump into the tracker today, MSTR-tracker. The stock price dropped a little bit down to 392, which dropped the S&P 500 just by one place to 101. Bitcoin right now is up a little bit on the day to 100,435. And so MicroStrategy is up a little bit in the pre-market as well, but we'll see what happens. 423,650 Bitcoin. We currently are at a $177 Bitcoin value per basic share. That number just keeps going up, my friends. The NAV premium, 2.2, very much in line with where I want it to be for a potential breakout that I'm expecting and hoping is going to be happening at any point. Because, my friends, today, at around 8 p.m. Eastern, around 5 p.m. Pacific, if what the reports are is true, the QQQ, the Nasdaq 100, is going to be announcing if MicroStrategy was included. Many of us would be very shocked and disappointed if that's not the case. But again, MicroStrategy does not need the QQQ. MicroStrategy does not need to be part of the Nasdaq 100. Would it be nice? Yes. Do we need it? No. This is an unstoppable train. Nobody can get in front of this train and stop it by a long shot. The reality is the Nasdaq 100 needs MicroStrategy because it will vastly and dramatically and drastically, in my opinion, underperform if it doesn't include one of the top 50 Nasdaq 100 stocks, because MicroStrategy is in the top 50 right now, and its performance is likely only going to increase from here if it executes on what I expect it to. Of course, it's a very volatile stock, and remember, volatility is a feature. It's not a bug. These are Michael Saylor's words, not mine, Michael Saylor's. This is why they're able to get so much funding for the convertible bonds. This is why they're able to hit the ATM, the at the market, which a lot of people hate because they're not understanding the value that's accreting to us shareholders when they're doing that. I understand we don't love the depression or how it depresses the stock price. But believe me, we're building for an amazing future. That is what I'm seeing. That's what I believe. That's my opinion. And that's what Michael Saylor is doing. I have zero doubt about it. And believe me, he has a lot of brilliant people spending a lot of time making sure that you, the shareholder, are going to get the biggest long-term benefit possible. Let's dive into the catalyst because guess what? 0 days until the QQQ inclusion because that is today. And again, from all reports we're hearing, it's going to be around 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. They do it so late because they want to make sure that it's after the after hours trading is all complete. Then we have the actual reconstitution would happen in 7 days, which is really exciting. And then, of course, we have some very awesome catalysts coming in 2025 that you can see below right here. And I'll be diving into more details about those as we actually get closer to those dates. Let's dive into some news for the day because interesting things, as always, from the media. MicroStrategy's Bitcoin strategy is inspiring Mara and Riot, but at what cost? So basically, just more and more reports are coming out, which I think is very bullish, and I love it. That companies like Mara, that's Marathon Mining, some Bitcoin mining company, other mining companies, Rumble, Riot, they are all taking a page out of MicroStrategy's Bitcoin strategy because it is frankly working. So why wouldn't they? And guess what? But at what cost? That's just a little hook to get people to click on it and read it. Because if you read this article, which I did, it's not at what cost. It's just obvious that you would employ this because these companies are already in on Bitcoin. Why not go all in? Why not stack the cool and make things happen? So again, never get overheated or over-iced about headlines because their only goal is to draw you in. I will distill it down for you and make that happen. MicroStrategy and gaming, the unexpected connection. Could gamers impact stock prices? So it's really cool just to see, again, what MicroStrategy is capable of doing as they're building out the Bitcoin Treasury Corporation of the world, over 423,000 Bitcoin. I mean, what they're going to be doing as a Bitcoin bank, who knows in the future what it is. And I know Michael Saylor has a roadmap, but I also know that Michael Saylor is very much willing and able to adjust that roadmap for you, for my benefit, for us shareholders, because he's looking to build an unbelievable company going forward. And if Bitcoin does what you and I both hope and believe perfect money can and will do, sky's the limit, baby. Barclays raises MicroStrategy's target price to $515. It was down at $275 at one point. Obviously, they missed that one, but they raised it to $515. So that was cool to see. You can see it's just a little blip here, but Barclays, they got a lot of people doing a lot of research on this kind of stuff. So interesting to see. This was the BlackRock article that I was mentioning, where they are essentially recommending all of their clients to have at least 1% to 2% allocation in Bitcoin. And again, this is huge. This is across the board. This is BlackRock, once again, just putting their stamp of approval on Bitcoin. 1% to 2% may seem low to people like you and me who actually understand Bitcoin and believe in Bitcoin. But remember, they're talking to the 99% of people who are way behind us in this understanding, in this revelation, that don't understand Bitcoin, that don't understand that it's perfect money, the perfect preservation of capital. And that's okay, but they trust BlackRock. They trust Larry Fink. So when he says, hey, I know you don't get Bitcoin, I know you don't understand it, but allocate 1% to 2% because we've done the work, that is a huge stamp of approval. That is exciting, exciting stuff. And this article is not that long, by the way. I'll put it in the show notes page. And then they have this chart about what happens at different rates of allocating Bitcoin to your portfolio. Interesting stuff. Let's talk about a Michael Saylor tweet, because I just love it. It's just must read tweets when he posts. He writes, MicroStrategy is powered by Bitcoin. Yes, it is. And look what happens to an annualized asset performance chart over 4 years. It's not even close. Bye-bye Magnificent Seven. Bye-bye S&P 500, real estate, gold, bonds. Is there even a second best? Of course not. Let's go over to this next one. I like this guy, Bit Strategies, posting some good things. He wrote, I invest in Saylor because he does not use corporate doublespeak and virtual signaling. I like that he is blunt, direct, and unapologetic. The world needs more engineers and fewer business people. That's why I can't get enough of watching Michael Saylor clips. And I'm going to show you an amazing clip coming up at the end here that you are definitely going to want to watch. Because guess what? He just says it like it is. He sits there. He's not double speaking. He's not using excess jargon. He's just preaching his beliefs, his truth, his experience. And I love him for that. Let's talk about this tweet right here from Chris. He wrote, updated MicroStrategy versus alternative Bitcoin investment vehicles chart. And they talk about MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, ETF, futures, miners. Again, everybody that I actually look up to and admire is just absolutely clear that Bitcoin is the king investment. And that is your allocation in Bitcoin and cold storage should be second to none. I mean, that is your future. Things like MicroStrategy could be an amazing leverage play off of that belief. And that's why I'm excited about it. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do. ETS, futures, miners, as you can see, just by all the red X's, they might have some issues because look at this. Largest corporate holder of Bitcoin, downside protection, financial leverage, generates yields, no fees, blah, 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 all these things. And then what are some things that it doesn't have that Bitcoin does have? And again, this is where, again, Bitcoin is perfect money. 24/7 trading, self-sovereignty, no counterparty risk, seizure resistance. These are huge things that nothing except Bitcoin has, which is why, again, Bitcoin is perfect money. I love having a massive allocation of Bitcoin. And then a great levered play into MicroStrategy because it's a fun company. I know what Michael Saylor is doing, and I'm excited about it. Let's get into this next tweet. I just thought this was a cool kind of flashback. Look at young Michael Saylor here. This is like 25 years ago. A young Michael Saylor. Oh, yeah, 2000. So 24 and a half years ago, give or take. He lost $6 billion in a day. Listen, I love this. This guy, Michael Saylor, is brilliant. He's hardworking, and he has failed a lot. He has made mistakes. He has learned from those mistakes. He continued to work with this absolute disaster that happened back in 2000 for 20 years before he finally understood Bitcoin and implemented the Bitcoin strategy. He is such a hard worker. He's grinding, he's learning, he's applying all these principles, and now you and I are benefiting from that. So I just love this little snapshot, and the Bitcoin Therapist, of course, is great and wrote the greatest comeback of all time. Wanted to share this tweet right here from Pelo Swing. Pretty interesting. And again, don't get overly excited about this stuff because this is not by any stretch a future indicator, but it's just cool to see this stuff because just more and more people are jumping on the MicroStrategy train because it's undeniable. It's trading at 400 right now. This is in pre-market. Someone just put 1.1 million on the 525 calls for next week. So I'm not personally a big options trader. I don't really understand and dive into that game that much. There are a lot of people that do, but I will say that this was looked at as a very bullish indicator by some people that really get into that stuff. I wanted to share this post by Matt. He wrote a friendly reminder that MicroStrategy is currently carrying 7.26 billion of convertible debt at a blended interest rate of 0.48%. Total Bitcoin value, $40 billion. That is an equivalent of you owning a $1 million house with a $180,000 mortgage. That's the dream. I mean, imagine owning a $1 million house and your mortgage is $180,000. This is the equivalent, but people are so far away from understanding this at a normal level, meaning that most people can comprehend this. It's so far away. You are so early. I am so early. Matt is so early. He wrote, CFAs and CFPs will call MSTR a risky levered Bitcoin equity, while also telling you to lever up 21 to buy a rental property or primary residence. It's insane, my friends, the opportunity that's there. And not to mention, I own a rental property. I'm actually looking to sell it just so I can use that money to buy more Bitcoin and to buy more MicroStrategy because I had to replace the air conditioner. I've had to replace the refrigerator, the dishwasher. I have to deal with the Airbnb tenants. And listen, I'm not hating per se on all real estate. If you love real estate, if you have a passion for it, go forth and conquer. That is you. But for me, I am much more excited about watching MicroStrategy do their thing, and I would rather have my money there personally. So interesting things to think about. There's a great post by MSTR Updates. Why would people allocate to MicroStrategy instead of Bitcoin? For the record, I owe plenty of both. And this is MicroStrategy. This is MSTR Updates. So believe me, most people that you find, almost everybody in my experience, at least people that I respect, that are very bullish on MicroStrategy are even more bullish on Bitcoin, which is why they're bullish on MicroStrategy because, obviously they're a pair. They're they're like dancing the waltz of life together. And it's a beautiful thing to behold. But here you go. They want leverage Bitcoin and something that increases BTC per share. They want access to Bitcoin through a publicly traded company. Most companies' retirement accounts require this. So that's just a requirement. They want the most volatile options for superior upside and income opportunities. This is why MicroStrategy has found their niche. And guess what? Not only have they found their niche, they've built a moat around their niche that cannot be replicated, period, end of story. Nobody's catching them. You saw the chart from my yesterday video. Nobody's catching MicroStrategy. They can't. I mean, 423,000. Michael Saylor, he's not stopping. He's not slowing down. He's speeding up. So he'll wave from above and he'll say, yes, buy more Bitcoin to all you companies, but they're never going to catch up. In my opinion, MicroStrategy is only going to continue to increase the lead, but cheer on every other company that's copying him. And this is another thing that I love, by the way, on a little side rant. Usually, most companies are scared of competition. They're scared of copycats. MicroStrategy's strategy is the complete opposite. They are embracing competition. They want copycats. Michael Saylor is giving everybody in the world, his playbook, because if they execute upon that playbook, everybody wins because they buy more Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin goes up. MicroStrategy goes up. Their company goes up. Bitcoin goes up. It's an amazing flywheel circle of perfect money and the perfect preservation of capital. Let's go. And just to stop with the tweets here, I just love this one. I think this is a great one to go into the weekend with. Bitcoin is better money. This is Michael Saylor. If you read the book, Broken Money, also the Bitcoin Standard. They talk about the history of money. And this is actually one of the first money that was ever created, which was these circular rocks with the holes in the middle. They were very hard to acquire. They were very hard to make in this manner, but they represented money, on an island way back in the day. And Michael Saylor is a student of history. He loves it. So this is just a great picture. I love it because it's just saying, hey, obviously, isn't Bitcoin better money than what is represented here? I mean, that might have been the best opportunity at the time, but obviously Bitcoin is the 21st century money. Here we are in 2024, almost entering 2025. It's obvious that Bitcoin is the future to me, to a lot of people, hopefully to you as well. We'll see. So I have a couple great clips right now that I want to share. The second one that I'm going to share is actually just such a great way that Michael Saylor talks about not diversifying and actually going all in on something. And I think he gives a great analogy. So I wanted to share that clip with you specifically. I think it was a great interview. And I will link to the full interview because it's like a 2-hour interview. I've listened to it actually multiple times because I just love hearing Michael Saylor talk. So I love every part of this interview. So you can listen to the whole interview. The next clip I'm going to show you, listen, I'm never going to turn this into a political show. I'm just not going to turn this into a political show. But when the current policies of the United States of America, aka our incoming president, is very pro Bitcoin, is very pro crypto, is a very pro by that phrase MicroStrategy, because obviously we know why. Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy goes up. I'm going to share with you some pretty exciting clips because to me this is just bullish indication. So enjoy these next 2 clips. And I'll let them take it away.
You're embracing crypto, very different from the previous administration. Strategic Petroleum Reserve like for crypto?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, not just China, but others are embracing it, and we want to be the head. We're going to be ahead of AI. We're going to be way ahead of AI, and we've got to produce tremendous amounts of electricity. You know that it's unbelievable when you think that we need more than twice what we already have. If you think that's pretty for a specific industry, but we'll be able to do it. We have Lee Zeldin in charge of the environment. He's going to be giving us very strong approvals, I think, and he's going to make sure everything's good and clean and proper, but he's going to give us very fast approval.
And then one last point, which is you got to be 100% Bitcoin. Like the reason we can do it is because we are $40 billion of Bitcoin capital, 60 or $50 million of USD, and nothing of anything else. No real estate, no other coin, no other good idea. The thing that I try to get across to people with the laser eyes and the focus is sometimes the least risky thing is not to diversify.
Right.
When you've got an engineering solution, when you're building an airplane and someone says aluminum is the right metal, diversifying into copper, bronze, steel, and aluminum doesn't make the plane less risky. Right? You don't need, it's not like this, everybody's got to have their turn. We got to like use a little bit of art and a little bit of real estate and a little bit of gold, a little bit of Bitcoin and a little bit of what NVIDIA stock, right? That doesn't work. It breaks the machine, right? It's the homogeneity of the fuel, right? We don't put 16 different types of radioactive elements into the, pick the thing, engineer the reactor for the thing, you put dirty fuel into the yacht, the engine fouls. You put dirty gasoline into the car, it fouls, right? So you have to engineer the reactor in the right way. And it's like the Austrians would say about money. Any amount will do. You just have to pick the money, right? Right? Bimetallism, silver and gold, is a recipe to disaster. Pick one. Focus on it. So what we've done is we've focused on Bitcoin. We've created a Bitcoin treasury company. It's a crypto reactor with Bitcoin as the fuel. Because we do that, we can give our converts the highest performance of any convertible bonds. And we can give our fixed income the highest performance of any fixed income. And we can give homogeneous credit and transparency. And here's the other point I make. A lot of times people come and they're like, I want to do the Bitcoin standard thing, but I think I'm going to hedge. I'm going to put in this put hedge thing, or maybe I should do some of this and some of that. I'm like, no.
That's not the engine.
No.
Well, there you have it, my friends. Another day of MicroStrategy Today delivered to your doorstep, to your fingertips. Happy Friday the 13th. I hope it's a very lucky day for you. I hope it's a very lucky day for MicroStrategy, with fingers crossed a QQQ inclusion tonight. Again, we don't need it. They need us. We don't need them, but we would like to be a part of it for obvious reasons. $2.1 billion initial reconstitution. influx, and then the passive income flows that happen. And then, as you and I both know, as MicroStrategy goes up that Nasdaq 100 chart, we're going to get more and more of the percentage of passive inflow. So we do want that, but we don't need it. Time will tell. We'll see. We're on a path of just domination. But this is not financial advice. Do your own research. Consult a financial advisor before making any financial decisions. I'm putting this up for you every single day. I'm actually traveling both Saturday and Sunday, but I'm taking my microphone with me. I'm taking my laptop with me. You're going to see me in a different location for sure. Probably not quite as good of lighting or as good of audio quality, but I'm still going to put in the work for you, my friends. So if you appreciate the work, give me a like. If you really appreciate the work, drop a comment. As you can see, I answer every comment because they're so meaningful to me. And if you really, really appreciate the work, hit the subscribe button and share with somebody who you think needs to listen to this, to get this type of MicroStrategy update and intel and just overall optimism, positivity every day, because that's what I'm going to bring to you. That's my commitment, because my friends, there is no second best.